2022 saw financial markets transform as the world emerged from the COVID pandemic. Central banks responded with rate hikes and the crypto market tanked. At the same time, workers handed in their notices in droves. But if you were a Twitter employee, it's more likely you were fired by Elon Musk. Joining us to go through the top business stories of this year is Pattie Lovett-Reid. Welcome back to studio.
Oh my goodness, it's great to be here. Great to see you.
I feel like I know all the interiors of your places from all of the places that you hit to us from. So great to have you in studio.
Thank you. Thanks.
Let's start with inflation. The Bank of Canada raised rates historic 7 times, lucky 7. What does this mean for Canadian households?
You know, if I had to pick a top business story, it would be inflation. You know, I've often said, and I've read so many times, you're not bothered by inflation if you don't own a home, a car, eat food, have health care, have goods or services. Inflation impacted all of us, Anne-Marie, and really where it impacted most are those lower income Canadians who had to make some tough decisions, whether they were going to pay their rent or they were going to put a meal on the table. We also know, to your point, that the Bank of Canada Governor, Tiff Macklem, aggressively wants to raise interest rates to combat that high inflation. So we stand at 4.25%. The next announcement's January 25th. It's sort of baked into the system, at least another 25 basis points. The latest read on inflation is 6.8. He wants 2%, so we still have a ways to go.
Yeah, and it is painful. You're right. Everybody's feeling it.
So when I think about the top story, like it's inflation, interest rates, and market instability. Right. Because when rates start to go higher, the fear that many investors have is that there's going to be instability in the market, that we'll see a recession. And if we see a recession, corporate profits drop. That means shareholders don't have the value they once had. So you can see this knock-on effect.
Yeah, absolutely. Real estate markets propped up the economy during the pandemic, and over the last year, we know it plummeted. This created uncertainty for buyers and for sellers. Yeah. Uncertainty in both camps.
You know, if you look over the last 9 months, prices have continued to fall. In fact, from the peak in February, down about 11.5%.
Ouch.
Yeah, the national average home price at the latest read is $744,000. Will the prices continue to go lower? In all likelihood, yes, as rates continue to go higher. One of the stories that's not headline news just yet would be the potential for foreclosures or defaults on payments as rates continue to move higher. It could happen. There's no question. I think at this point, I think it's a buy and sell. And I'm often saying to people, we've gone from FOMO, fear of missing out, to JOMO?
Joy of missing out?
Yes, because I don't want to get involved in the housing market right now. People are electing to sort of say, I'm going to sit on the sideline and figure out where this goes. JOMO.
JOMO.
It. Yes.
That is the word for 2023. I'm writing that down. Speaking of words, here's a phrase we heard a lot this year. This was the Great Resignation. And right under that, quiet quitting. Unemployment rates, we know, in November were at 5.1%. Job vacancies at 5.9 for the same month.
Yeah.
How did this massive shift in the labor force affect the job market?
I think it had a lot to do with COVID.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time when people said they had a badge of honor, that I have the hustle, I'm working hard, I'm working long hours, and guess what? People said, I don't want to do that anymore. And when you look at an unemployment rate of 5.2%, basically that's full employment. So if you decide to quit your job, the odds are pretty good that you will find another job. And you know, even if the potential is there for a recession, and many think that it will happen, you don't worry about it unless you've lost your job, because we still have income. To your point, and I think it's a good one, we have about 1 million vacancies in Canada. What might make this recession potentially different, if there is one, is people won't necessarily lay off their employers, they just won't hire who they were looking for. So if there's a sort of a silver lining, that might be it.
That is interesting and definitely a story to keep watching.
And now it's a lot more quiet. People are just going about it. It was the Great Resignation. Now it's sort of the quiet, I'm moving on.
Yeah, changing careers, changing jobs, absolutely. Elon Musk, speaking of changing jobs, took over Twitter at the cost of $44 billion, immediately then laying off a huge number of employees there. You know, and now we're not sure if he's going to stay on as CEO. I mean, I don't know what that story's about. What has this takeover meant for the tech industry and for the market at large?
You know, I think there's a lot of speculation. Like, one guy can come in and do this and literally change the landscape of social media. I think it's important that he put it out to his, what are they called, Twitter followers?
That's right.
Tweeters? I don't know what it is. But the fact that he asked the question, you know, do you want me to remain as CEO? And
57%.
58% out of 17.4 million came back and said, you are out. Who's going to take that job? That's going to be a story in 2023.
And that's what he's asking now. Who will I find to fill the job? Who knows? 2022, crypto market completely fell apart. We've been watching this for a while. A year ago, the world's crypto value set at $3 trillion.
Yeah.
Now $850 billion. Walk us through how crypto collapsed.
You know, I think there have been a whole host of things when you think about it. Even if we go back to Elon Musk. Elon Musk was going to take Bitcoin for currency for a vehicle. Then he said he's not because of the mining, but then the costs and impact on the environment. You had Morgan Stanley saying that they were going to put Bitcoin into wealth management portfolios. And then I could say we had FTX, that all of a sudden, when you have one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges collapsing because a deal did not go through. This is saying to people, this is an unregulated industry. There is an extreme amount of risk associated with it. And my word for cryptocurrency is 2. 3, proceed with caution. I know numbers, 3 words, proceed with caution, if you're in the crypto market,
All right, all of those stories we're going to continue to watch to 2023. Great to have you here in studio to wrap up 2022. Pattie, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll see you in 2023.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.